Ay, 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 ay.
A few moments later.
Lathna is a permanent 5-star Shadow Lance unit that has a mana spiral that turned her into a beast of a damage dealer. She is the first 5-star Shadow Lance unit introduced in the game, and is very comparable to FORTE, who was introduced later. When she was first introduced, she was shafted due to her lack of poisoning skills to complement her skill set, at a time when poison isn't too common among Shadow units. Now, with poison being compulsory in a Shadow team, Lathna can utilize this trend to her advantage, in dealing tons of damage towards any poison foe. Let's look into her kit, and find out the reason behind her strength, and also to compare her with FORTE, who shares many similarities. Chaos Gift costs around 2800 SP, and deals a minimum of 711% damage. She hits 3 times at least, and when tapping continuously she can hit 7 times, with a maximum damage of 2488.5% damage towards poisoned foes. This skill has a low SP cost and crazy damage, which is one of the reasons behind her strength. The one flaw of this skill is that she remains immobilized during the skill duration, which can be a problem when the enemy unleashes a purple attack while she is immobilized. Despite this, I was able to get all 7 hits out all the time, while sustaining relatively minimal damage, not enough to deplete all of her HP. Overall, this skill is very powerful, and the movement penalty isn't a major hindrance when played properly. Sundering Shadow costs 5500 SP, and has a base damage of 1726%. When hitting poisoned foes, this skill deals nearly 2600% damage. Again, like her skill 1, this skill has a relatively low SP cost with a high damage output. Interestingly, this skill deals nearly the same amount of damage as her skill 1, but the iframe is shorter and the skill doesn't impose any form of penalty to her, which is especially favorable when the enemy attacks relentlessly. Overall, this skill is basically her skill 1 without a penalty, and with a shorter attack time frame. Her set of co-abilities consist of the standard HP buff and a 20% Dragon Haste, which is actually a very good ability for her to have, as her dragon form does provide her more than a standard shapeshift. Her first ability, the Faceless God, allows Lathna to transform into white NYARLATHOTEP regardless of what dragon is equipped, which means that she can only utilize the dragon's ability, as her dragon skill will always be an improved variant of NYARLATHOTEP's skill. When shape-shifting, she gets her HP regen similar to Gala's co-ability. The ability also grants her a 15% poisoned Punisher effect when not in her dragon form, and a 215% effect when in her dragon form. This ability is nuts, as if the Punisher on her skills wasn't enough already. Her poison inflicting dragon skill, regen and insane Punisher effect when in dragon form convinces players to shapeshift her when possible to get the most out of this ability. Her potent paralysis resist grants her yet another strength buff that is always a good thing to have. Her dragon time complements her main ability very well, with her dragon form being insanely powerful. Her powerful skills can be further improved with skill damage, skill haste, and poison Punisher. Her powerful dragon form means that she can equip any dragon related ability to bring the most out of her dragon form. Contrary to her story, NYARLATHOTEP is not a good dragon for her, as its abilities are more defensive in nature. Instead, she can pick Shinobi, Catharsis, Ramiel, Epimetheus, and perhaps Merishitan to improve her in offense. For her weapon, the Agita Lance is a no-brainer, and the fact that the weapon can be obtained more easily than the high Zodiac Lance means that I wouldn't recommend any other weapon on her, except for maybe the Chimera Tech variant. For her whim prints, these will do. In fact, many prints work on her, as long as they can improve her attacks and or dragon form. I wouldn't recommend any shield/defensive abilities on her, unless in the form of her shared skills. Before I go to the conclusion, let's compare Lathna with FORTE. Stats wise, Lathna wins due to her mana spiral. In terms of skill 1, Lathna's deals way more damage than FORTE's, but costs around 500 SP more. For skill 2, both deal nearly the same damage, but FORTE's costs less, provides a strength buff and is maneuverable. For co-abilities, Lathna can transform quicker due to Dragon Haste, but FORTE's Dragon Claws provides a permanent strength buff during shapeshift. In terms of Punisher, both of them have it, but Lathna's base Punisher is lesser than FORTE's, but has a greater maximum Punisher effect. Both of them have dragon-related abilities. Lathna's ability significantly powers up her dragon form, and has her HP regen effect, while FORTE's ability simply allows her to charge her dragon gauge by a fixed amount when using skills. Oh, and I almost forgot Lathna's 15% strength buff from her potent paralysis resist, while FORTE only has a standard paralysis resist. When in a team that can spam poison quickly, Lathna can dish out a fuck ton of damage, further demonstrating the supremacy of the shadow element. That being said, when the enemy isn't poisoned, Lathna's damage output drops significantly like the current stock market. This heavy reliance to poison may be an issue, but it doesn't occur very much at standard co-op compositions, as poison is more common in shadow units than change on the sidewalk. When compared to FORTE, who is basically the same as her but cheaper, Lathna is monstrous in damage output, though FORTE can spam skills slightly faster. If you somehow have both of them, like me, I would definitely recommend Lathna over FORTE, especially if you have sufficient resources for a mana spiral upgrade. FORTE is for the players who want a Lathna, but either couldn't get her, or unable to dish out the resources for a mana spiral upgrade. Overall, Lathna is extremely powerful, and I would highly recommend her for endgame content, but with the shadow element the way it is right now, expect her to either maintain her position as a high damage dealer, or to be replaced by a stronger unit in the future. Now go out there and fool people with your petite look, followed by immediately crushing them with your insane power and honestly frightening dragon form. That's all from me. Moga out.
Yeah.